What are the steps you're taking into 2023 to make it better than last year? Here's why. I'm a shoe guy. There's a difference between being a shoe guy and a sneakerhead. Okay? For all of you wiser people, I don't like to call them old, they're wiser. Just, for all the wiser people, a sneakerhead and shoehead. Sneakerhead is like nice shoes, like Jordans, all that kind of stuff. I don't know anything about them, but people collect them and they spend way too much money on it, but it's fine, it's whatever. But I like shoes. I have a lot of different shoes. On Sundays or weddings or whatever, I try to wear nice shoes. These are called Chelsea boots. I don't know Chelsea personally. I don't know why, but I like the boots, and they're comfy-ish. Right? Everyday wear is slip-ons, like Vans or sometimes Nikes, whatever. And then for everything else in my life, everything else, going to Disneyland, whatever, I'm in Crocs. Now, it's day one, so you can judge me on the way home, but not right now. Crocs, I believe God specifically created that person to bring heaven to earth in a form of Crocs. When I'm cold, I wear my slipper Crocs. So while y'all are at amusement parks and you're like, my feet hurt, I'm like, I'm over here, let's do it. I'm going to get Heelys and everything. It's going to be great. I wear them all the time. Ladies, let me ask you this. When you go to a wedding or a fancy thing, let your imagination go. What are you most likely going to wear? Probably some heels or wedges or whatever that kind of stuff is, right? Some of you are like, no, it's not it, but majority, come on, right? I was talking to a couple of the ladies on our staff this week, and there were some shoes, and I don't know how y'all do it, but like your feet are like this, but when you're in heels, they're like this. And then they're like, they're so comfortable. 5 minutes later, they're holding them because they're like, oh my God, I'm not comfortable. Right? But it's for the photo. I want to look pretty. Like, no, stop it. Be comfortable, right? So you have those. If you work in a construction site, you're not going in flip-flops. You're going in boots that have steel toe, things like that. What am I trying to say? You're preparing for where you're going. If you were to get ready, for me today, I said, okay, I'm getting ready. Here's what I'm going to wear. I'm going to wear these today because I'm going to church. Going to a wedding, so I can't wear flip-flops. I'm preparing myself for where I'm headed. Now, a long time ago, I was a drummer. Not that long ago. I was a drummer for a long time, right? I started when I was 6 years old. I won a thing called Fine Arts Festival, which if you're an AG kid, I just gave you some really bad memories. But Fine Arts Festival, right? I played this cool Eye of the Tiger thing. It was awesome. I couldn't even reach the kick pedal, whatever. But in that world, and if you were a musician, they had these shoes called Converse. And they were perfect. As a musician, they were light. They had great grip on it, as you can play, and they were stylish. And so I would wear them, and I remember getting my first pair, and after some time, they ripped. And I thought I was losing my mind. Mom, my shoes, we gotta go. And my mom's like, yo, those were $55, sweetie. We ain't paying for that every single time. Because as a drummer, unfortunately, you wear and tear all of your gear. And so she's like, get in the car, we're going to go for a drive. So we end up going for this drive, and we pull into this parking lot, and man, when I tell you, like we went to this crazy, it was like a mall, like they have everything there. And it was so high class that it was like security and bars and stuff, and I'm like, dude, this place is legit. So we walk into Walmart, and we stop and go. I'm from Stockton, so security bars, you'll get it. So we walk into Walmart, and we go straight for the guy's department, right? And my mom pointed and said, hey, what about those? And I looked. They look like Converse. So I walked up, and it's a brand called American Made. They don't make them anymore, and it's so sad. But I look at them, I'm like, they look like Converse. I put them on, they felt like Converse. So I was like, all right, Mom, let's try it. So we took them home. I started playing drums in them, and I was like, man, these are legit. The only thing they didn't have was, you know how the Converse have like that little black rim on this. They didn't have that, but everything else they had. $12.95. And my mom said, baby, if you want them, you can have them. And I was like, sweet, right? And I used those to move forward. What does everything about your shoes have to do with your life? Planning the steps for the journey you're going to take. What are you going to wear? Let me ask you 2 questions. And don't raise your hand. This last year, did you accomplish the goals that you set out? The resolutions you make, did you actually get to see them through? My second question is, did you plan them? Did you write them down and for some reason they just stopped? Here's something funny. 43% of people who make New Year's resolutions and goals end their goals by February. 9% actually see them through. So if you're one of the 9%, teach me your ways. But why is it so little? Why is 9%? I think because they party on New Year's Eve and they don't remember what they wrote down and they lost it somewhere, but that's just me. Why is it that 9% succeed? I think because they didn't really focus and plan on what they wanted to do. So I got 3 simple things. It's real early. It's the day after New Year's Eve. You guys had Christmas and New Year's Eve on the same week, so we're gonna be chill today. But I'm going to give you 3 practical ways that are going to help you make this year better than the last. Number 1, real simple, check your heart. How's your heart? My mom, she would stop asking people, how are you doing? Because I ask anybody, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. You get those people, how you doing? Blessed and highly favored. How are you really? How are you really doing? So I remember I was on the phone with my mom. I was living in Visalia at the time, and I got this question from mom. She said, hey, baby, how's your heart? And I'm shopping, and I'm like, my heart? And I'm walking through the groceries. I'm like, my heart's hurting. Like, you asked the wrong question at the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? Like, Food for Less got the Holy Ghost. I'm just joking. But how's your heart? If you were to sit down with somebody and they asked you, how's your heart? What would you say? If Jesus was sitting in front of you and said, hey, how's your heart? Side note, he knows. But would you be honest with him? Some of you, your heart's hurting. You came in here with a hurting heart, broken heart, whatever your heart is right now, you walked in with it. You're going to walk out with it too. But you get to determine how you're walking out with it. How's your heart? You can't walk into this new year and expect things to line up if your heart's not right. You can't. You got to deal with some things in order for your heart to be focused to where you want to go. Look what the scripture says here. It says in Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Everything flows from your heart. So let me ask you again. How's your heart? You're going to have to probably figure it out on the drive home sometimes. But you have to check your heart. You have to understand that if I'm going into this new year, my heart needs to be right. Now, we get a little fleshy. We can be Peter sometimes. But that's where you need to pause and say, yeah, my heart wasn't right there. Anybody? Me 24 hours ago? Let's call it for what it is. Some of you walked in today and you're like, oh, Lord, check my heart before I go in there. There we go. But you have to. And you know what the beauty of it is? You got to do it daily. Hey, if you need to, 9 a.m., noon, 5 p.m., set an alarm and just be like, Lord, how's my heart? Oh, all right. Can we be real for a second? It is not all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check my heart for the rest of the year, and then I'm good to go. 5 minutes later, all right, Lord, I'm back. That didn't end up with, you have to constantly check your heart. But the Bible doesn't say just to check it. It says to guard it. So let me say this. Are you guarding your heart? Whatever comes in will eventually flow out. So what are you putting in? What are you bringing into your heart? Wrong relationships? Things you shouldn't be watching? Let's kick it off right by saying, you know what, we're going to guard our hearts and do it right. You can be the perfect Christian in the world and still have heart problems. Still got to check it. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. What does it mean to guard your heart? It is to whatever you need to do to surround your heart so that the only thing that gets to it is the Father. And you're doing everything you can to help your walk get closer to Jesus and help other people. But sometimes we guard our heart, and then, especially in church, it just goes like this, and then it's like this, and gossip gets in, emotions get in, frustrations get in, right? This isn't guarding your heart. This is just like setting it up, but you have to fully guard it. My youth pastor did an illustration one time. I'll never do it here because I'm always afraid of it, but he built a fence, and he talked about guarding your heart as like that. And we used to do paintball camps at a time. It was a lot of fun, but he put the person in front, and they were okay. But he said, this is what it looks like when you don't guard your heart. And he went out to the audience, and he shot the person with a paintball. It was so cool. And then he goes, here's what happens when you actually guard your heart. And he had the person walk behind the fence, and he shot the fence. And then the person walked around, and there was some splatter on his shirt. Can I share this with you? Even though you guard your heart, you're still going to get hit by something. But it's the choices you make that are going to determine either if that stain and those hits are going to affect you, or they're just going to bounce off and you're going to keep going. Your choices determine the destination and the destiny you're taking in this next year. So where's your heart? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to figure that out. Point number 2 is to check your focus. This is a fun one for me. Checking your focus. What are you focused on? Right? When people make their plans, where's their focus? Are you focused on the right things? Focused on the wrong things? Are you focused on stuff that is just super out of this world? What's your focus? And place your focus. If point 2 had sub stuff, it would literally, I'd probably put you need to make them reachable and achievable, you know? Because who's over here being like, all right, my focus is I'm going to be the owner of Disneyland. Sit down. What's your focus? If you know me, I'm not a workaholic. I'm a work enthusiast. I like to work. I like to plan things. For those of you that know me, I plan every minute of every day. If you want to see my calendar, it might get you stressed, and I don't want to put that on you. But I actually got this at a young adults white elephant gift, and the funniest thing is it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing because it has the dates and notes and to-dos, and then, it's so beautiful. If you want to come check it out, you can come check it out. But here's what I do. Not only do I put it in here, but I put it on my calendar on my phone, And then I have a to-do list on my phone that's connected to my iPad and connected to my laptop. And then I have a whiteboard. And then I have a monthly calendar. And then I have a yearly calendar. This is where it gets crazy. They're doing this for me. You're all good. They're studs. I love it. Everyone's face went. But I set it up. And I have it planned and I have it dialed in. Here's some things that I want to share with you about making your focus a reality. Right? There's 6 things that my youth pastor shared with me. When I turned 20, he said, hey man, here's 6 things that you should probably look at. Here's some things you should probably focus on. They're in your notes, but I want to share them with you. Number 1 is occupational. 2 is spiritual. Physical, relational, financial, and personal. Right here, these 6 things are everything to do with my life. And I wrote some down, and I want to share with you just how practical they are. And you're going to look at this, and you're going to be like, dude, this is really not that practical. Like, dude, this is real simple. What are you talking about? So occupational. To be a better team player this year than last year. I don't want to be that person, but I feel like I'm a good team player. But my motto, kind of sounds a little weird and selfish, but my motto is for every single day for Pastor Troy to wake up and never think of a day without me. Sorry, it sounds awkward, I know. Here's why. I mean, he doesn't wake up and was like, oh, Tim's here. No, that's weird. But when he has to make an important decision, right? Where are we going? What's the direction we're taking? What I want his first or second thought is to be, okay, is this the direction? Okay, cool. Tim's coming with me. Because what I want is to be such a great employee that he can count on me, that he can trust me, he knows I have his back, and that I do everything that I can, with flesh getting in the way sometimes, but do everything that I can for him to never go, dang, is Tim really there? How are you at your job? Because I can tell you, 3 years ago, that wasn't on my thing. Because I was so lost. I was like, I don't even care about this job. But because God's called me to be here, and I'm passionate, that's what it is. Spiritual. I'm really into chronological Bibles right now, so I want to study it. And the second thing I want to do is I want to memorize bigger scriptures. And not like Jesus wept, like real scriptures, right? Bigger ones. I want to challenge myself to actually get into it and study those more. Physical. I want to get into the gym more. Me and Josh, we're going to hook up at the gym. It's going to be great. But I want to. Relational. Spend time with friends more. Now, life gets in the way. But can I tell you, 5 minutes with friends changes your life. It changes. Haven't seen each other in 3 months. You get picked up and you go to a taco shop. It's nice. It's all pink. Bunch of wrestlers in it. I love it. But you go get tacos. Jacob Carey, it's good to see you. Financial. I want to get a new car this year. I've been working on it. I've had my car for a long time. Her name is Vicky the Versa. And, well, it's time to go. And it's a stick shift, and stick shift in San Diego is not biblical whatsoever. My father, it's just rough. But that's what I would do. So I've been saving up for it. I want to get a new car. And personal, I want to get out more and explore. I've lived here for a year and a half, and I have not been to the zoo yet. Can y'all believe that? Some of you are like, I'm done. I'm not even listening to you anymore. How practical are those? I'm not over here being like, not only am I going to get a new car, but I'm going to get a horse too. Like, I'm in skinny jeans. I don't ride horses. I got the boots for it though. Hey. Practical steps that are actually achievable. I can actually achieve these. So as the band comes, I've checked my heart. I've checked my focus. I've put practical steps in to just really make sure I'm lined up. Because again, wherever your heart is, it's going to flow. So is your focus lined up with it? Some of you have bigger goals and bigger, more practical, bigger things like, I want to start a family soon. I want to be able to have a home. There's certain things in your life that you need to focus on, and I challenge you, take those 6 things and just look at your life and say, okay, what am I believing God for in this next year? For some of you, spiritual is just like, make it to church on time. It's practical. It's definitely doable. We start at 10. It's great. But you need to make sure you're lining yourself up to the focus of where your heart's going. Everything flows from the heart. So if I get my heart right, and I'm understanding where I'm at, then I can move to my focus. And within my focus, I can say, okay, here's what I'm believing God for. Here's the decisions that I would like to make. Here's the choices I'm willing to make and take and do all of that stuff. But the third is to check your circle. Check the people around you. Show me your friends. I'll show you your future. Who's your circle? Who are the people in your life that are helping you? I love this verse. It's in, flip my notes, Ecclesiastes 4:9-12. 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach and help out. But someone who falls alone is in trouble. You ever fallen alone? Help, I can't get up. Little clicker thing. Likewise, 2 people lying close together can keep each other warm. Even if you fall together, you still got each other. But how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but 2 can stand back to back and conquer. 3 are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. Who are the people that are keeping you accountable on your focus and on your heart? I got this ladder behind me, if you can't tell. Your life, it's like this ladder. You start as a baby, you grow up, you become older, and you begin to make the climb. And as you climb, you have this opportunity halfway through to be, okay, if I fall, and I'm kind of at that age where, you know, like you get up and you sit down and you're making noise. Oh, if I fall, I'm going to make noise. That'll probably hurt. And it's at this moment you can look and say, okay, is this safe for me to do alone? I just graduated high school and I'm no longer in youth ministry, and I don't my pride's in the way though. I can do it on my own. It's not that far up anymore. Yeah, I can do it, right? I can do it. Right? Fear gets in the way. No, I can't do it. And your pride gets back in the way, and no, I'm going to do it. Ecclesiastes say, 2 are better than 1. In my walk with the Lord, I would not be here today if I didn't have people holding my ladder. If I didn't have Danny, if I didn't have Patrick, could you come up? If I didn't have Pastor Troy, if I didn't have these people, if Pastor Troy, yeah, come on up. I can't do this alone. I need people. Angel, I need people holding my ladder because I cannot grow in my walk with the Lord. I cannot check my heart. I cannot check my focus if I didn't have people holding my ladder, keeping me accountable, and making sure your boy's scared of heights. But why is it that I'm so scared of heights and I'm not afraid right now? Because I'm secure in who's holding my ladder. It ain't people my age. It's people who are older, who live life, who when I mess up or who when I do something wrong, they come up to me and say, hey man, I want to make sure you're good. And when life gets shaky, when I feel like giving up, because in life I can't just go back down the ladder, I either stay or I keep climbing for what God has for me. But if I fall, I'm not going to do it. But if I fall, they can do their best to catch me. Why do you think I say do their best? Because in my flesh, they can't control that. So if I fall and they catch me, or even if they don't, if I fall and they don't catch me, what's the first thing they're going to do after laughing at me? If they're real friends. They're going to stand beside me, pick me up, brush me off, check my heart, check my focus, tell me to climb back up again. Who are the people in your life? Every year, I check my heart, I evaluate my focus, and I check people in my life. Lord, are they supposed to stay or do they need to go? Can I tell you, it's sometimes healthy to let people go? No offense to the homies of day one, but if they're not helping you get closer to Jesus and you're staying the same, you might got to let them go. And find people that will take you out to lunch or take you out to coffee or support you as you're youth pastoring their kids or walking through them with young adults and doing life with them. Can I tell you, it's really not easy being a pastor. It's really not. Being a single pastor changes. You hear some comments. You see some text messages. It sucks. But what I love about what God has called me to do, even when it hurts, I'm still secure. I'm still holding on. Because these people that are holding my ladder are not only holding me, but encouraging me. Hey, don't worry about what they say. God's got a plan for your life. It doesn't matter what happened to your past. God's got a hold of you. Some of you need to understand that your life on day one starts with having people in your circle that are promoting you, not putting you down. Some of you need to leave those people in 2022 and need to get some new people. You need to be secure in this because you cannot move forward on your own. If Jesus had 12 people and you have one, what makes you better than Jesus? Get people in your life that are going to help you hold your ladder and promote you. They celebrate you. They move forward with you. And sometimes you have to switch out people on your ladder. But it's only to help you. Because if you are having people on your ladder that aren't helping you, it's not helping them either. The other question is whose ladder are you holding? Thanks, fellas. Because just because you got people holding your ladder, thanks, guys. Just because you have people holding your ladder, you got to be able to hold someone else's. That's a different type of spiritual maturity. So if you're checking your heart, you're checking your focus, and you got secure people on your ladder, who are you holding on to? Whose ladder are you willing to hold as well? Please don't walk into this next year thinking you can do it alone, because you won't be in the 9%. You'll fall hard. Before moving into this next year, there's some things that you got to let go of. There are some things that need to break. There are some things that you are trying to take with you into this next year, but God's saying, leave it there. I have something better for you. But you can't take that if you're holding on to this. Pastor Tim, you don't know what he did to me. No. I worked hard for this. I got to take it. And God's saying, no, you don't. Leave it. I got something better for you. I got something bigger. I got something that's going to challenge you and stretch you. And that just makes you comfortable. Please don't walk into this next year as a comfortable Christian. You'll stay comfortable. Some people have grown up in church and say they have 25 years of experience, but the spiritual maturity and the heart posture doesn't show it, which tells me they had a 1-year experience in church 25 times. Where's your heart? Where's your focus? Who's in your circle?